Hi, and welcome to another story of the Untold Story series of Berks County artists. And our thanks here at the People Chronicles to the Berks Arts Council, the Pennsylvania Partner for the Arts, and the Why Missing Foundation for making this series possible. This area is prolific. There are so many artists, and we're very fortunate to meet them. I'm in a gallery, and you know, when you walk into a gallery, you feel better, you're stimulated in a very positive manner. And Yenna Hill, you did it.
Yeah, somehow. I walked
Yenna
in
Hill.
with it. We made a gallery.
You did, and it's beautiful. This is all of your work, and before you came, as you know, I was struggling. What kind of art is it? How do I describe it? And so how do you describe it?
Well, a lot of times when people ask me that question, I just start off by saying that I do complex line work, or I will post it on Instagram and I'll hashtag line queen. But that is one of the most difficult questions, and I always have struggled to answer it. My boyfriend and I have talked about it too, how it's like the question that every artist answers badly more than once in their lifetime. So one of the things that I use is I make things with my hands.
That's a true statement, right?
So yeah, that's what I say. I make things with my hands, and I used to like rule this hashtag on Instagram. You can do it now. Hit I make things with my hands on Instagram, and you'll see a bunch of stuff. But other people use it too, which is really great, actually.
We're going to hashtag your story now.
Yeah,
so
you
know.
should. Yeah.
With my hands.
All right.
So you say line work. So it's drawing or graphic?
Well, yeah, sort of. Well, I always kind of started out not making things and looking at blank spaces and wanting to see lines coming across them. Like anything that was I don't know, there's like on Walnut Street, it's been yellow for years, this like bodega, and they have a side entrance where it's a beautiful archway, and I just wish they'd let me go in there with a black marker and just make a continuing line and shapes that would like just cover the archway. And I don't know, I can't, or I can, but a lot of people won't let you just draw on their property, so I kind of like
that would be graffiti.
Seeing, yeah, which I'm okay with, but I mean, I'm not a jerk, and I'm a mom, and there's laws.
Well, graffiti artists are so talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have done some of that. Graffiti's probably not the proper word, but I know you have beautified our city.
I've made street art, yes.
Yeah.
My uncle was Keith Haring. I don't know if you knew that, but so yeah, I'm grew up very well steeped in street art and pop art and like the space that it holds in history. And I would have to say that I'm really influenced by my uncle, but I've always been trying to find my own hand. So when I started to make these, like I said, the red, black, and white pieces were the beginning in 2013 of me making shapes and playing with textures and lines and randomization, and then kind of started to just, I don't know, I used to write a lot, and now this is like writing for me. Like
you're telling a story with lines.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like meditation for me, like a lot of just my thoughts are all there in these angles and curves.
I look at these pictures and there's a word that keeps coming out, and it's power.
Oh, thank you.
They're very powerful.
Thank you. I like that. I like that about my pieces when they work out well, and I like that you can like play your eyes over it and
keep seeing different things.
Yeah,
I've noticed
that's my favorite
as well.
thing that people tell me, and I don't title a lot of things. When my work has a purpose and I have a message, I think that I really put all of myself into that. So if it has a title, I'll tell you. But a lot of times if it's just shapes or whatever, it's great to have 8 people stand in front of a wall and tell me what they're seeing all at the same time, and they're usually all right in one way or another.
Have others titled your work?
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Okay, that's what this one has a great title. It's called Black and Egoless, but it happened completely by accident. I was typing a price list for some paintings that I was showing at a gallery, and I went to type black and gold hand in parentheses, but the way that I punctuated it, my phone just autocorrected and made it say black and egoless. And I thought it was a great title for sort of, I don't know, the hand looks like it could be becoming unshackled, sort of. But I don't want to always define my things. I love that other people see other things.
And I love that other people, even in our stories, 6 people can hear the same story, but hear 6 different things.
Yeah.
And that's what you're describing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which makes it very powerful. So you said Keith Haring was your uncle.
Yes.
Obviously, there's raw talent in your family.
Yeah.
Did you know him, or were you inspired by him or his work?
Well, okay, so both. He passed away when I was 5, so I did know him. But I think about this when I have to tell people who I am as an artist, that Keith always credited his father, my grandfather, and now I get to credit Keith and then credit my grandfather. And who does it go to more? The man who's, 20 years old when he had his first son, and his first son grew up to be such a prolific artist, world renowned, or I don't know. So it is my grandfather who always has, with all 4 of his children, all 4 of his grandchildren, and now his great-grandchild, my daughter, we always sit at the table and draw, and it's just part of my history.
I can see some of the geometric kind of influences of Keith's work in your work.
I have a name for it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have a show per se, or maybe make an album or something, but I call it Haring Family Hieroglyphs.
Oh, that is perfect.
The fact really that my stuff can, when he's there in my work, I love it. I can't deny it. I don't try to make it happen, which is very important to me, to always have myself there. But when he's there, it's like how sometimes my handwriting might look like my grandmother's or something. So I love it.
He's with you.
Yeah, it's a thumbprint.
It sounds that way, and
nice.
it feels, I'm feeling that from you as you talk about it.
Yeah.
How did you learn this? I mean, did you go to school? Did you study art?
No, in high school I did take some art classes, but I was more into acting. So I was taking drama classes, and I was always writing. And I thought I would be more like a writer. And then I just started really making images with, I would always find myself around creative people after high school. And I did elect not to go to college. I worked at Barnes & Noble, and I said, I'm just going to read as many books as possible and educate myself, which, I'm still on that mission forever. So
hopefully we all are.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up going to makeup artistry school a few years ago. I had volunteered and become a face and body painter, and started to get paid gigs really quickly, which ultimately that was like I've been doing that for 5 years now. And I would say 2 years ago, in the first 2 years, it was really important to me because it made me better at creating images, on the spot, and like I had to learn how to paint better. So then after that, I went to school for makeup artistry, so I could have other services to offer to people, because when you're a creative person, it really serves well to be a jack of all trades. And so that's what I went to school for. But a lot of trial and error, a lot of practice, a lot of sold pieces. I have paintings in Hawaii, I've got paintings in California, I have some in restaurants in Reading, and I really need to go and collect all of these pieces and have them all together so I can put them all together somewhere else. But putting things all over the place, making stickers, drawing things for people in school.
You sound very prolific.
I love
it doesn't stop. Does your mind stop?
No.
Okay. You said
Never.
two things, though.
Stop.
Yenna, you talked about, I like to look at a blank space and fill it up. And then you talked about having to be able to draw something very quickly. If you're doing body art and they say, I want a butterfly, for example.
Right.
How do you get the inspiration for that blank space? Somebody's telling you, okay, do this. What do you do with that blank space?
But I think because I have been a writer and written a lot, I used to say when my words were coming together very well that I didn't know if it was, some sort of cosmic thing traveling down my arm to the pen. And I found later that Keith said the same thing
Did he?
in his, like when you're really in the zone and really pushing it. I mean, I've really been there, and I truly mean it when I describe a meditative state, because sometimes there is such intent and you realize that it might have been, for lack of a better word, angels whispering in your ears, and but not your ears, totally in your head, but you're not crazy.
No, definitely not crazy.
And you don't know how long it takes you to, it could feel like 2 hours and be 15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple of things. If we want to find your art, short of traveling the world and looking for Yenna's art, where do you show your art?
Well, there is going to be a show with Hydra Artist Studios March 18th, I think, but that's going to have a lot of artists in it. I think I'll probably only put like some more painted statues.
Okay.
Just because right now I've been really working with like the line and not making set images. So I think I'll probably put only more painted statues in that. But to find my work, you can on Instagram look at the Instagram name is I Make Things With My Hands. That's my one art page. My other Instagram name is Yenna Hills, where I'm a little bit more active. I post different art on each page. And you can email me at yennahills@gmail.com. I am building a website, but it's not up yet.
You signed your art Yen. Why? Where'd that come from?
Because when I really started painting and on canvas and having two complete pieces, it was 2010, and Yen 2010 rhymed.
Perfect.
Yen 2010, it sounded good. But then it became Yen 2011 and Yen 2012.
And Yen works.
Now I'm just never going to stop. So there it is.
Before we go, I have to know, this is the Untold Stories of Brooks County Artists. What's one thing about Yenna Hill that maybe most people don't know that you'd like them to know?
Oh, I've been thinking about this because it's the Untold Stories of Brooks County Artists. And, well, I guess it's just that no matter what I say and no matter how self-loathing I get and no matter how it seems like I'm being dormant, I'm never going to stop making things.
Thank goodness. Yeah. I like that. So never stop.
I have a friend on Facebook who posts a bunch of art every day, and he always says, "Team never stop." So
never stop.
Yeah.
I hope not. I'm enjoying it. And thank you for bringing it here, and keep looking for it.
Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure. Yenna Hill.